India has reported 40 cases of the Delta Plus variant of the novel coronavirus. Most of the cases are from Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Kerala and Tamil Nadu. The Union Health Ministry has categorized the Delta Plus variant of the novel coronavirus as a variant of concern. India is amongst the 10 countries where the Delta Plus variant has been detected. Delta Plus cases, still a low number, are emerging as large parts of India are ending severe lockdowns and restrictions, with COVID cases on the decline after a fierce second COVID wave. So what is this variant all about, and how dangerous and infectious can it be? According to Dr. Anthony Fauci, who has been taking care of the American vaccination and COVID-19 program, he goes on to say that this is an extremely dangerous variant and it should be tackled with kid gloves. We'll talk about this with our guests. We'll talk about this with my colleagues also, who will be joining us from various parts of the country. India has reported around 50,000 cases in the last 24 hours, and there's been a slight increase since day before, where we saw about 42,000 cases. To talk more about this, joining me on the platform at this point in time is Dr. Anil Arora. He's a gastroenterologist. We will talk with him and get an update as to what he thinks the Delta variant is all about. Dr. Arora, according to you, how concerned we should be? There are also murmurs, there are also rumors, there are also talks, and some of them by experts, that this is a variant which can escape the vaccine. That means the vaccine that a number of us have taken is not going to be potent against this particular infection. Your thoughts, sir?
Yeah, thank you, Vineet, for having me on your show. First of all, the emergence of the variant is a natural process. The virus has to survive as much as you and me have to survive. So it is a fight between the virus and the human beings. So once you are developing an antiviral medication and the vaccination to overcome the virus, so virus is also smart enough to wriggle out of this cage which you are trying to weave around the virus. So virus tends to develop mutation so that it is able to get entry into the cell. You should remember that the virus cannot survive outside the human body. So it has to have a place in the human and body, that means in the living beings. So the only way to overcome this is to vaccinate as much of the population as possible at brisk pace as it is possible today. With increasing vaccination and increasing herd immunity, we may be overcome this menace. Otherwise, other than Delta Plus variant, we are going to see more and more mutation, because it is just an instinct of the virus to survive over and above the human beings also.
Dr. Arora, you said that the virus has to survive like most of us have to, but at the same time you also said that in order for the virus to survive, it has to mutate. The big question that is going to be on everybody's minds is whether the vaccine is already premeditated, pre-choreographed and pre-doctored to take care of all the mutations that are going to happen in the future or not.
You see, there are two types of vaccine we need. One is a vaccine which encompasses the whole virus. Classical example is a Covaxin, which has been developed by Bharat Biotech. Then you have vaccines like Pfizer, like Covishield, which look at only one component of the virus, that is the spike protein. So the smaller the component of the virus against which you are generating antibody, the more the chances are that virus is going to overcome this hurdle by mutating and developing an escape phenomena which will overcome the resistance on the part of the body and vaccine to let the virus enter into the body. So the concept of the whole vaccine certainly is better than an individual vaccine alone. But since, as I already mentioned, that the virus has to survive in the body, as of now, the only way to wriggle out of this situation is that we vaccinate the whole population. Because if we vaccinate larger number of the people, and because of countries like ours, in which there has been extensive exposure, if we have inadvertent, either natural or asymptomatic infection, overt or covert, or we have had infection because of the virus, we are going to overcome this menace. Because left to itself, the R factor, that is the reproduction factor of the virus, which is associated with the Delta Plus, is to the tune of 5. That means if you have 2 cases of COVID infection related to the Delta Plus variant, if you let it multiply and go to the 10th generation of replication, then you'll have 2 crores cases which can spread out. So the only answer, because you cannot stop the virus from multiplying, the only answer is to jack up and ramp up your production and vaccinate more and more people. And if you are not vaccinated, then let's try to slow down the pace of reopening up all the lockdowns.
Dr. Arora, what about genome sequencing? What about finding out what this virus is made up of? India has been lagging behind in that particular department as well. It's rampant in Maharashtra, but that is the only place where genome sequencing and ways and means to find out the disposition, or rather the demeanor of a virus, are being studied.
Yeah, if you look at the data of the sequencing, genome sequencing in India, it is pretty dismal. We have a very small, minuscule number of genome sequencing lab. We have ENSAFOG, which is a constellation of about 20 labs which are looking at the genetic samples. But if you look at the quantum of the disease we have, if you look at the poor infrastructure, then trying to study the genomic sequencing and trying to strategize our policies as per the new mutating virus is not very easy for a developing country like ours. Ours is a country in which we have logistics of getting the vaccination, giving to the people who are poor, letting the vaccine go to the people where it is not available. We have large number of the rural population which is ignorant about the vaccine. There is a vaccine hesitancy. So left to itself, genome sequencing does make sense in a developed world, or in a place where you have huge amount of the research funds to do this, and then keep on tweaking your vaccine. For the time being, I believe if we are able to have new virus mutations, then we have to actively pursue the surveillance, contact tracing, case tracing, so that we are able to nip the problem in the bud, rather than again and again going for genomic sequencing, which is a tedious process, which is time consuming, it is money consuming process, and left to itself, even though we should continue to do it, but I think our thirst should be on vaccinating more and more people. And if we find variants, we should do our best to isolate this community, to do contact tracing, and try to isolate this and have more containment areas like what was done in Taiwan, so that we are able to put the problem at rest in the initial phases.
Dr. Arora, we find ourselves in a bit of a quandary here, don't we? We have started to open up. There are 40 cases of the Delta variant in different parts of the country, maximum in Maharashtra. It's only a matter of time before this particular variant comes knocking on the doors of almost all states. What can be done at this point in time by governments to make sure that we don't end up the way we did during the second wave?
Absolutely. If you remember, Vineet, I had already mentioned in your previous shows, I think we have to slow down the pace of the opening up of the lockdowns. And there is a very good way of knowing who has been vaccinated. We already have a database. There is a way of knowing who has been infected, who has donated blood. So only those people should move out who have either been vaccinated or have had a natural infection or have donated blood. So we have a good chunk of the people who are safe to go and travel outside. People who have not been exposed, who have not been vaccinated, they should not move out of their houses, because the way Delta variant is spreading with the R factor of about say 5.5, I think it is going to create havoc. So move out of the houses only if you have to earn your livelihood. There also I'll recommend the fiscal stimulus from the government to support this group of the people who have to move out just for the sake of earning their livelihood. Short of that, hold on for next few months when we have enough vaccination, when we are able to vaccinate the population, because the currently available vaccination, fortunately 2 doses are good enough at the moment to take care of even the Delta virus, which is a Delta plus variant. So till then, I think we should have both individualistic as well as the government instituted restriction on the travel outside your home, so that we do not end up being the super spreader like what we saw as a havoc in the second wave.
Absolutely, sir. And Dr. Arora, it's also going to be a cause of concern. Do you think that the opening, or rather the unlocking which has started today, and it's been weeks now, should be curtailed now? It should be calibrated even further?
Absolutely. I've been insistent right from the very beginning. Why do we have to move out? You should move out only if you are vaccinated or if you have been able to donate blood, that means you have enough antibodies, or you have been exposed to a natural infection. Short of that, please do not move out. What is the point of opening 50% of the restaurants or malls? Because there is enough, even in 50% of the time, you have enough population in India which could be responsible for spreading this Delta virus, and with the R factor of Delta plus being to the tune of about 5.5, we are going to have more and more viral infection. And I think, Vineet, you know very well that all the measures to curtail this mutant virus may be ineffective. Vaccines may be ineffective. Your treatment may be ineffective. Your monoclonal antibodies against this strain may be ineffective. So the only way, and a poor country like ours cannot afford to have a third wave, which may be totally devastating. It will shatter the economy to total dust. So the only way is, I think we should have more discipline at our individual level, as well as there should be strict curfew, strict lockdown enforced by the government agencies, so that only those people who have been vaccinated or had infection should move out. Rest should hold on till we vaccinate major chunk of the population.
Right. My colleagues Prabhu Pateria and Urvashi Khona also join us. Prabhu joins us from Madhya Pradesh. Urvashi is with us from Maharashtra. Prabhu जी, सबसे पहले मैं आपके पास आना चाहूँगा. मध्य प्रदेश में भी डेल्टा वेरिएंट के मरीज सामने आए हैं. ये बीमारी और ना फैले, इस वेरिएंट को लेकर ये जो मरीज हैं इनको कंटेन कैसे किया जा रहा है, और राज्य की क्या क्या एक तरह से तैयारियों में लग गया है जिससे कि ये जो इन्फेक्शन है अब स्टेट से बाहर ना जाए और जिलों से भी बाहर ना जाए?
देखिए विनय, जो मध्य प्रदेश में केस मिले हैं वो जीनोम सीक्वेंसी में पकड़ में आए हैं, और जीनोम सीक्वेंसी जो हुई है तो वो बाद में हुई है. कुछ मरीज ठीक हो गए हैं. यदि मैं जैसे भोपाल का उदाहरण देता हूँ तो डॉक्टर साहब इस बात में अच्छे से बता सकते हैं. भोपाल में 65 साल की महिला को जीनोम सीक्वेंसिंग में डेल्टा प्लस वेरिएंट पाया गया. उस महिला के साथ उसके बेटा, बहू, परिवार के लोग भी कोरोना पॉजिटिव हुए थे, लेकिन उनको ये नहीं मिला वायरस. उस महिला को ही मिला 65 साल की. वो वैक्सीनेशन करा चुकी थी और वो घर में ही दवाइयां लेकर ठीक हो गई. ये उसके ठीक होने के 1 महीने बाद पता चला कि उसको डेल्टा प्लस वेरिएंट आया उसमें. इसी तरीके का शिवपुरी का मामला है. जो बाकी के मामले शिवपुरी में मिले हैं वो अलग अलग पॉकेट के लोग थे. एक पुलिस में हवलदार था, कोई टीचर था. वो आपस में कभी नहीं मिले. वो उन्होंने भी वैक्सीनेशन कराया था ऐसा बता रहे हैं, लेकिन उन सबकी डेथ हो चुकी है. उसके बाद ये पकड़ में आया कि उनको डेल्टा प्लस वेरिएंट है. ये 2 अलग अलग तरीके के मामले मध्य प्रदेश में है. और इसके खास बात यह है कि इसकी जो कॉन्टेक्ट ट्रेसिंग की गई है उसमें ये कहीं पकड़ में नहीं आया कि ये कहां से आया, इसके पास कहां से आया, ये म्यूटेशन उनकी बॉडी में हुआ है, और दूसरा ये इनसे किसी और को नहीं फैला. ये 2 बड़ी बातें यहाँ पर गौर करने वाली, जिसके बारे में साइंटिस्ट को सोचना चाहिए. यदि म्यूटेशन हो रहा है तो फैल क्यों नहीं रहा? जिसको हम कह रहे हैं बहुत खतरनाक वायरस है डेल्टा प्लस, जानलेवा वायरस है, बहुत तेजी से स्प्रेड होगा. लेकिन यदि मध्य प्रदेश के केस में हम देखें तो यहाँ पर अभी तक ये ऐसा कुछ पकड़ में नहीं आया कि वो स्प्रेड हुआ है. डेल्टा वायरस के प्रकरण जरूर मध्य प्रदेश में मिले हैं. यदि मैं आज की स्थिति में बात करता हूँ तो मध्य प्रदेश में केवल 84 केसेस हैं कोरोना पॉजिटिव के जो नए मिले हुए हैं. 70,000 to 80,000 हमारे यहाँ जो है आरटीपीसीआर एंटीजन की जांचें हो रही है. वैक्सीनेशन ड्राइव सरकार चला रही है. और जो आप जानना चाह रहे हैं कि सरकार अब इससे बचने के लिए क्या करे, तो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट का अलर्ट आने के बाद मध्य प्रदेश के मुख्यमंत्री ने आज एक हाई लेवल मीटिंग बुलाई है. मंत्रालय में मीटिंग होगी. डेल्टा प्लस वेरिएंट से बचाव को लेकर क्या क्या उपाय किए जाए. ज्यादा ज्यादा जो है डॉक्टर बता रहे हैं वैक्सीनेशन पर जोर दिया जा रहा है. ज्यादा ज्यादा टेस्टिंग पर जोर दिया जा रहा है. और जहां पर भी कोई कोरोना पॉजिटिव मिलता है तो माइक्रो कंटेनमेंट जोन बनाने की बात की जा रही है. एक फीडबैक सिस्टम भी मध्य प्रदेश सरकार ने अपना एक लागू किया था कि यदि कहीं पर कोई मरीज है कोरोना का तो उसको बकायदा डॉक्टर टेलीफोन पर कॉल करते हैं यदि होम आइसोलेशन में है, और उसको क्रॉस चेक करने की व्यवस्था है. एक तरीके से एक व्यक्ति के पास दिन में 2 या 3 बार फोन जाता है. ये एक व्यवस्था मध्य प्रदेश में कर रखी थी कि हर व्यक्ति को पकड़ कर रखा जाए कि वो बाकी उसको कोई तकलीफ तो नहीं हो रही है, कुछ दिक्कतें आ रही है तो उसको हॉस्पिटलाइज किया जाए. और उनसे जो डॉक्टर यदि बात कर रहे हैं तो वो बात कर रहे हैं कि नहीं कर रहे हैं, तो ये क्रॉस चेक करने की एक व्यवस्था है. इसके साथ ही एक योग से निरोग कार्यक्रम चलाया गया कि उनको ये कहें कि मानसिक तौर पर वो स्वस्थ रहे तो प्राणायाम, योग करें. इस तरीके के बहुत सारे उपाय किए गए. कि सबसे बड़ी जो चैलेंज जो दिखाई दे रहा है तो वही तौर पर ये जो नया वायरस आया है डेल्टा प्लस को लेकर सरकार ने अपनी तैयारियां शुरू कर दी है तेजी से. और आज जो मुख्यमंत्री की मीटिंग होगी हाई लेवल की, उसके बाद ये निकल कर आएगा कि सरकार और इसको लेकर नए प्रबंध क्या करने जा रही है.
जी जी प्रभु बिल्कुल और let me also take an input from Urvashi who's joining us from Mumbai at this point in time. Urvashi, Maharashtra as always finding itself in the eye of the storm when it comes to this new variant. How concerned is Uddhav Thackeray about the Delta variant when things were beginning to look normal, when things were beginning to in fact fall back on track? You have this new impediment, you have this new challenge that the government will have to deal with, and they have to be very, very careful as they have just tided over a very, if I can say, aggressive second wave in Maharashtra.
Well, if we see and talk about the whole number of patients that have been found, the Delta variant cases that have been found in Maharashtra. So among them, the maximum all across the country do come from Maharashtra. Now all of these, many of them have recovered completely. They were found Delta plus variant in the month of April, is what we understand. And in that there is a milk dealer's wife, one. There are two people who had come from Surat. There was one particular person in late 70s, one particular person who attended a wedding. So there are all of these people are the people who have recovered in the month of April. Their genome sequencing was done and the results have arrived now only. Now, with respect to the measures to be taken by Maharashtra government, so it was Health Minister Rajesh Tope who has certainly come out and said that and has asked all the officers to in very severe way to be vigilant about the movements about all of these cases so that they don't go ahead and spread to others. There has been very strict and at very severe level the containment zones that have been called for. While the Maharashtra government is taking care of all of these things, it is also from central government that the instructions have come to see to it that there is no much of intermingling of the public and the cluster management needs to be taken care of because this seems to be a super spreader if we see, and because it has been one of the important ingredients during the second wave, it has to be taken care of is what we understand. Maharashtra government, in fact, today post 3, there is a cabinet meeting. So certainly this will be discussed. Maximum patients are coming from Maharashtra and how the whole sequencing with respect to the tracing and tracking of these patients is also being done at ground level is what we understand. So these are the current, this is the current scenario with respect to the Maharashtra, and as Government of India, or rather from the central government, it has come out and said it is more of a variant of concern.
Okay.
So it has to be taken care of in a very strict way.
All right, Yash Raju, my colleague, joins us from Chennai. He's going to tell us what is the scenario in the state of Tamil Nadu. Yash, although not too many cases in Tamil Nadu, but it's never too late, or rather never too early to start preparing for the kind of onslaught we have already seen during the second wave in Tamil Nadu as well.
Tamil Nadu Health Minister Ma Subramaniam clearly told that there is no Delta case reported still now officially, but there are also precautions and preventions taken here in Tamil Nadu. Well, if you see, Tamil Nadu is also ready for the facing the Delta variant. The multiple steps have been taken by Tamil Nadu Health Minister Ma Subramaniam and Health Secretary Radhakrishnan. So what are they telling us? They are ready to face the situation, and all the steps have been taken here to prevent this the Delta variant getting spread in Tamil Nadu. They are also ensuring that they have sent nearly 1,300 samples from Tamil Nadu to IMCR stating that to test the Delta variant, but still now according to the officials only 800-900 reports have been gotten back to Tamil Nadu, and out of which everyone are tested negative. So what we are getting to know is that there is no Delta cases reported in Tamil Nadu still yet. But the situation is getting worse in Kerala, and along if you see, there are nearly 10 to 15 cases reported in Kerala. So the Kerala government is also ensuring that there are multiple containment zones built all across Kerala for maintaining and stopping the widespread of Delta variant in Kerala. So Tamil Nadu government and Kerala government is also making ensure that the spreading has been controlled all across Kerala, and they are also taking multiple steps. The health minister also told to the Union Health Minister Harshavardhan and the Union Health Secretary Rajesh that We are taking multiple steps to prevent this Delta variant getting spread all across Kerala, and Tamil Nadu is also looking for multiple health measures, and health hospital setup has been built. Additional hospital settles have been all across Tamil Nadu to control the Delta variant, which will be arriving within few days in Tamil Nadu. If you see, in multiple states the cases have been reported in large number and is getting widely spreaded. So there are also chances that within few days the Delta variant cases may be coming to Tamil Nadu also, and Tamil Nadu government is also telling us that the health system has been totally completely ready to face the Delta variant also.
All right, Dr. Arora, in your assessment, how prepared are we to tackle a third wave, considering what happened in the second wave? Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has time and again said, or rather thumped his chest, that Delhi is now ready to take care of 40,000 cases of COVID-19 per day. I'm not sure whether that's true for the rest of the nation, including states like Bihar, Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat.
Yeah, I'll agree with you. See, certainly the total number of the cases, the height of the third wave, if ever it comes, and the ferocity of the third wave will never be as compared to what we saw in the second wave. That is a wishful thinking, and I'm sure it's going to be true. Certainly, on most of the states, especially Delhi, we are far better prepared because we have suffered enough in the second wave. Because if you look at the logistics of total people who have been either vaccinated or exposed or have had natural infection, that is quite a bit, even though the official figure says that only 3 crore of the people have been infected. But if you multiply it by a factor of say 5 to 10, still 30 crore people would have been exposed, and if 28 crore have been given vaccination, still one half of our population is vulnerable for different reasons of logistics to onset of this new wave. So the only way is that after learning lessons from the previous waves, we should strengthen our infrastructure, our oxygen supplies, our ICU beds, and especially we should be able to provide the basic medical infrastructure to the people who are more vulnerable. And it is a good news that at least 60% of our 65 plus population is already vaccinated. At least one dose has been given. So with ramping up of the production of the incoming vaccines, and especially with yesterday, if you see 84 lakh people have been vaccinated in India, which is the record in itself. If we can continue to maintain that pace, that is the answer. But it's very difficult to say what will be the preparedness, because ultimately when you come down to a tsunami-like situation like what happened in the second wave, not even the developed countries like US and Italy will be able to bear the attack. But my own hunch is this will be far less than what we saw in the second wave.
All right. प्रभु, मध्य प्रदेश में वैक्सीन को लेकर अभी क्या स्थिति है? वैक्सीन को लेकर सभी नागरिक कंसर्न हैं। पिछले 2 रोज़ पहले 85 लाख के करीब पूरे देश में वैक्सीन लगी। ये आंकड़ा फिर से थोड़ा कम हुआ, 50 लाख के करीब पहुंचा, 45 लाख के करीब पहुंचा। दरअसल मध्य प्रदेश में वैक्सीन की अवेलेबिलिटी को लेकर अभी क्या क्या चुनौतियां हैं?
देखिए वरुण, मध्य प्रदेश में ये 2 दिन पहले जब वैक्सीनेशन ड्राइव चला था, जो महा वैक्सीनेशन अभियान दिया गया था इस मोदी का, उसमें मध्य प्रदेश ने देश में एक रिकॉर्ड बनाया है। करीब 17 लाख वैक्सीन लगाई गई एक दिन में। ये तो उस दिन की बात थी, लेकिन उसके पहले कुछ दिनों से जरूर वैक्सीनेशन स्लो था मध्य प्रदेश में, और एक वैक्सीनेशन को लेकर एक लगातार 10 दिन का एक पूरा कार्यक्रम बनाया गया मध्य प्रदेश। यदि मैं आज की बात करूं तो आज सुबह ही 10 बजे तक 1.5 लाख करीब वैक्सीन लग चुकी थी, और सरकार ये चाहती है कि ज्यादा से ज्यादा लोगों को वैक्सीनेट किया जा सके, और 3 जुलाई तक 50 लाख लोगों को वैक्सीनेशन करने का सरकार ने टारगेट सेट किया। उसको लेकर वैक्सीन गवर्नमेंट से मांगी गई, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट से। और शिवराज सिंह चौहान ने कल ये भी आश्वस्त किया है कि सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट कह रहा है उनको इतनी वैक्सीन दे देगी। यदि हम टोटल मध्य प्रदेश की जो पॉपुलेशन है, जिसको करीब 5 करोड़ 26 लाख लोगों को वैक्सीनेट होना है, जो कि एलिजिबल है वैक्सीनेशन के, तो अभी मध्य प्रदेश में 1 करोड़ 36 लाख करीब लोगों को वैक्सीन लग चुकी है। बाकी लोग बिल्कुल सामने कतार में है, और ये जरूर है कि अक्टूबर तक ये कहा जा रहा है कि 10% वैक्सीनेशन एमपी गवर्नमेंट कर लेगी, उसकी तैयारियां वो कर रहे हैं।
Urvashi, situation when it comes to the vaccine in Maharashtra, Dr. Arora has already said that the only defense against any variant, future variants, current variants, non-prevalent variants, dangerous variants is getting inoculated.
If we see and talk about the state of Maharashtra, while all across the country the 18+ vaccination drive had started, in the state of Maharashtra for 40 days, almost after a gap of 40 days, we see that from today the 18 plus vaccination has started. Now, even for that, it is not sufficient. The dosages in all of these government centers and hospitals is not sufficient as required. But then what I have observed on ground is about that if there were 100 stocks, 100 dosages in government hospitals, now after Prime Minister Narendra Modi's announcement, from 100, it has either reached 150 or 200 dosages. So that's a bit of improvement seen on ground, but yes, not sufficient enough, though Maharashtra has been in the top list of with respect to the inoculation of maximum people. But as said, because Maharashtra has been the severe, in fact, it has been worst hit by second wave and even during first wave. So amidst of such background, it is important that maximum people get inoculated. As I mentioned, that 18 plus drive has just started from today. So almost after 40 days of gap, we see that inoculation of 18 plus and above age has started with respect to the government. And also there is a bit of difference in scenario that we see when we compare to private hospitals and government hospitals. In private hospitals, we do see stocks are always available. There is enough of rush that is there. But at the same time, if we see and talk about centers in Maharashtra, the government centers in Maharashtra, they are very much limited. So that has to be improved on ground because it is a right, and there have been many people who just can't afford 800 to 1,000 rupees to be given for this very particular important safety equipment or safety weapon to fight against coronavirus and any of its variants.
All right, Urvashi, Prabhu and Dr. Arora, appreciate you joining us and filling us in with your perspective on this very important development coming in.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.